I've worked with Hemi since I was 16 years old. I built it because this is what I love. This is my passion. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, reverse, and it works all the time.
Nick's Garage is supported by Atlas Equipment and K-Tool International.
Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to my shop. Yes, I'm back in the dining room. If you guys have noticed episode 1 and episode 2 on the 572 Hemi that Ketan brought in, that he bought from someone, brought it here, and he's asked me, Nick, throw it on the dyno, see what it does. What we did is the day later, we installed it on the dyno, and we tried to get it running with these original 2 Wally carburetors that came with the engine. Go ahead. Whoa! We went through a lot of trouble to get it running. We had backfires. We had the distributor off 180 degrees, but it doesn't matter. So then after that, we got it going. On episode 2, we went with the, instead of fixing his carburetors, we went with the single plane Wally dominator carburetor, which was an 1150 CFM. Here we go. Of course, this being a 572 cubic inch Hemi, let's put the biggest intake and the biggest carburetor we have in stock for Hemi, and let's do some testing. We did some testing. We finally got the air fuel ratio running right. We got a second set of spark plugs. We got it going, and we pulled out 720 horsepower with my big 4-barrel. We never got any power with the 2 4-barrels when it first came in because we couldn't get it to run. But anyways, here we are now. He's asked me, Nick, you know that the head gaskets were leaking water in the corner like you guys have seen in the previous video. So he's asked me to remove the cylinder heads, which I did. I took them off. But now calls me up and goes, Nick, you know what? Stop right there. You know, we pulled out 720 horsepower. He was told that engine should be making 750. We never got to 750. Anyways, now he's told me, Nick, I want more power. So here we are right now, looking at some options, and now he's looking for more power. So he does have a 572 cubic inch. He's looking for maybe close to 800 horsepower. So we did some research here. Yes, he's got some expensive items, but it's a few things my brother and I do not like on this issue. We're gonna replace the cylinder heads because we've got a few things here that we're not happy with. So we are gonna go with another set of heads that are made by Eldeblock. 2 reasons. We need the bigger valve. This is a 2.25 inch intake valve. Now that was made for a 426 cubic inch. This being a 572, I think we could go with the bigger intake valve, which is a 2.320 from Eldeblock. And not only that, whoever built this engine before has raised the ports on the exhaust. If you take a good look, this is how the engine is running. Tell me what do you think of that? And here's the gasket. It's a 1/4 inch overlap on the exhaust port. So we have about 1/4 inch blocking the exhaust. Now, did Ketan do a good buy? Well, it all depends what he paid for it. But you know what? We're not happy with this engine, so we're going to do some work on it. We're not going to touch the short block. We did take out the camshaft. It seems like it's a good profile on the solid roller camshaft. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on the cylinder heads. Yes, we are going to replace them. So this way, any standard exhaust manifold or header would work with the exhaust port. In this case, no header on the market will work with this. And of course, we're going with the bigger intake valve, which is supplied by Eldeblock, and we're going to switch to that. And the reason I'm going to a bigger valve, because this being a 572 cubic inch, that's a big motor. We want to get more air in it because a V8 naturally aspirated engine is just an air pump. So we want to get a lot more air in there. So we're going to get a bigger valve, get more air in there, and of course, by replacing the head, we want this port to be a lot bigger so they're going to have a lot of exhaust flow. So air in, air out, we get more power. Then, you know, the short block, we're not going to change nothing with the short block. He's got good connector rods. He's got 4.5 inch bore pistons. And of course, the solid roller lifter camshaft. And the profile, we looked into it, it's pretty good. What I don't like is the cylinder heads. And for some reason, we also had the oil replaced, and look, take a good look, it's black again. So with this engine, you're gonna need a good cleanup. So now that Gaetan mentioned that he wants to look for more power, he's gonna come in here in a few days. We're gonna go through it. And you know, if we're gonna have to replace the heads, when are we gonna receive them? We don't know. They may be back order, I'm not sure. So by the time we get this built up, of course, we'll be back on the dyno. But what dates? I have no idea. First, we have to agree to a plan if we're gonna build it, and if we can supply the parts so we can finish this job. But in the meantime, let's go next door, and I'm going to show you the optional intakes we have available for Gaetan to choose. And we'll leave it up to his discretion, see what he wants. So this is my engine assembly room, what I could call it Hemi Heaven. And this engine here belongs to Michael from Pennsylvania. It is a 426, and he's also supplied the engine with Edelbrock heads, and these are the same heads we're going to use on the 572 stroker that came in on the dyno for Gaetan. So this is the same head I'm going to use. So like I said earlier, when Gaetan comes in, we're going to do a little search on a few things. But now we got this Hemi here. Then we have another 426 Hemi here that belongs to my brother. He runs a stock automatic Hemi Challenger. Yeah, there's a lot of things in there that's all top secret. But it is a true blue 426 Hemi, and this is a high revving engine. And you know, we started doing R&D on it. We're not finished with it yet. We're hoping to get it done one day. And of course, it is another 426 Hemi. I do a lot of my research on Hemis with my brother. He's a numbers guy, so we keep doing research. And sometimes with all this good news, we apply it on other Hemis. And I also wanted to say that my brother has won many Wally trophies. It's a trophy given by NHRA when you win first or second class, or having been there for the track for a while. But a Wally trophy is something is something very special, and Philip's got quite a few of them. Matter of fact, all my brothers have one. You know, building cars for my 3 brothers, they've all won Wally trophies. But Philip here, he's got quite a few of them, and especially the one with the Challenger that he runs in A stock automatic for NHRA. And I feel like a winner myself because, after all, I build all the engines for all my brothers. So there you go. I've won other trophies, not a Wally trophy, but I've won every other trophy that we used to go in drag racing and bracket racing or whatever other races. I've got a few of them, but not a Wally. But the Wally, I got to give it to all my brothers. And then I got another Hemi here that belongs to another client of mine, which is a 541 Hemi, also a stroker, but a 541, not a 572. But this one is going to be with a fuel injection setup. And this is the one we did the video unboxing all the new parts on a 426 Hemi, which is really a 541 Hemi. This is all new parts. So when this is done, we're going to put this on a dyno with fuel injection. It is a stroker Hemi, 541 cubic inch. And this client does not want to go with carburetors. If you notice, they're not Holleys, they are not Carters. This is EFI throttle bodies. We're going to go fuel injection on this. Well, it's going to take some work to set up the dyno. This will be on the dyno. They want it tuned with the fuel injection. So when the time comes, we're going to set it up on the dyno and do some testing. And what are we going to get out of it? Are we going to make it work? I don't know. You guys tell me. You know, we haven't done too many fuel injection on the dyno, but we're going to work on this. This is something very spectacular. All brand new parts, unboxing, and then putting it all together. This is going to be something special. So this is what you call Hemi Heaven. One there, second one here, third one there, and of course the one on the dyno that belongs to Gaetan. And today, I want to focus on what we're going to do with Gaetan's Hemi. Sure, we're going to end up selecting Edelbrock heads, but what are we going to use for intake manifold? If you guys take a look here, we have 5 intake manifolds. Let's just say, let's start with the one when he bought the engine. This is the intake with the 2 Wally carburetors, also dual plane intake manifold. This is the setup he got when he bought the engine. They say he did 750 horsepower with this. I find it very hard to believe. And first of all, we couldn't do any testing on this because everything's dried up. It would not run at all. So for that reason, we took it off the engine. And of course, you guys, if you know, I changed the spark plugs, the oil change. And then we couldn't do any testing with this. You know, we couldn't get the carburetors to idle. It was running so rich. we went to my in-house biggest carburetor, 1150 CFM Holley Dominator, and of course, big single plane intake manifold right here. Now this setup has a potential of 800 plus horsepower. So we installed this on his engine to get it running. We wanted to check oil pressure and we wanted to max out the horsepower. Yes, we did get it running, and if you guys saw in the second episode, we pulled out 720 horsepower. That's all we did. We were hoping for at least 750, maybe more, but we never got it. So this is an outstanding intake manifold with a carburetor for 572 cubic inch and pulled out 720 HP. So, the loss of horsepower is not due to the intake manifold on the carburetor. It's due to the cylinder heads. According to my brother, the valves are too small and the exhaust ports don't line up with the headers because they did some custom work on the cylinder heads that you can't find headers that don't line up with the exhaust. And that is the reason why we are going to replace the cylinder heads. Okay, so buying the engine with this, we're not going to go with this. This is something he doesn't want on his car because he wants the hood to close. So this is going to be a bit too big. So then on a street Hemi, this is a factory Chrysler intake manifold. It's a dual plane factory stock intake. Will it produce 750 plus horsepower? I doubt it very much. So I don't think we're going to go with this. When you're looking for big power, you want a single plane intake manifold. So we have another two options. We got one here. So this intake manifold comes in from Mopar Performance. It is a single plane. It is a little bit taller than the other one from Elderbrock. So this one here can be used with a Dominator or a 4150 carburetor. Now would Gaetan want to go with a 4-barrel? I'm not sure. So we're going to wait for a few days until he comes in. So I've left everything here so he can have his options. But from what I know, I think he wants a dual quad setup. So if you guys take a look here, we have another intake manifold, single plane, made by Elderbrock. And we have a choice of two Elderbrock carburetors that we could put on. So we could put two 625s or 650s or 750 carburetors. These are carburetors that belong to someone else, not to Gaetan, but I could get him this intake and this carburetor because this setup could fit the factory air cleaner that he wants to put. So I've left him a lot of options, trying to make power and also make the original air cleaner fit with a dual quad setup. Does he want to go with a 4-barrel? I've got a choice for him. Does he want to go with a dual quad? I have the option for him too. So till the time he comes here, by the time we buy the side of heads, get it all put together, get it back on the dyno, it will take some time. But in the meantime, we're going to wait around and see what he wants to do. And let me ask you guys something. What would you guys choose? What intake would you take? And with all these options, of course, it all depends on what kind of horsepower you're looking for. You guys tell me, what do you think? Okay, now you guys have seen a 426 Hemi, a 541 Hemi, a 572 Hemi, and now let me show you what I have. A 528 Hemi, brand new block that I bought years ago, and it took me years to build and put together. Yes, it's something very special. Come on over and see it. Here it is. Not only is it a 528 Hemi, it's the whole drivetrain. This is not for everybody. This is for someone who's got an e-body, who's maybe restoring the car, who maybe has got a small engine, always dreamed about getting a Hemi engine, making it to a 4-speed or whatever. What I've got here is a complete drivetrain for an e-body. Searching for all these pieces, sometimes it's not easy. Some of the parts are rare, getting the parts, then of course assembling it and detailing like I did here. And we also have a dyno session of this engine. And we finished it off on the dyno with the exhaust manifolds, with these carburetors, this intake on Petro-Canada 94 octane. And this engine has lots of vacuum. It has 15-16 inches of vacuum at about 950 RPM, enough to make your power brakes work. So if you got a car that you want to have power brakes, this engine, pump gas, smooth idle, and has enough vacuum for power brakes. What more can you ask for? It's got above 600 horsepower. It's also got above 600 foot-pounds of torque. It's a nice driver. And look, all the details are there, you guys. This is a true blue plug and play. There's nothing to look for. There's every little thing on it. Let's start with the Dana 60. You know, I've got a Dana 60 here that belongs to an e-body. It's an original piece. Here. It's got 11-inch drums. If you take a good look inside, we got all new brake shoes, hardware kit, cylinders, and everything. We have the brake lines. We have the T connection. We have the brake hose. We have the e-brake cables. And of course, it is a sure grip because all Dana 60s come with a sure grip and the 354 ratio. Yes, this is a direct bolt-on. All you have to do is add oil. Even the plug, this is genuine. If you look at the plug, where the filler plug is, there's the letter W. This is a genuine Chrysler piece. There's the two tags. They should be painted, but I didn't paint them. Why? So you guys can see them. It says use sure grip oil, and this is the axle ratio, 354. Now let's go to the drive shaft. The drive shaft, it's a heavy duty piece with the heavy duty U-joint in the back, heavy duty U-joint in the front, which is called the 7290 series. And since we don't know that drive shaft, what kind of a car is gonna go in, this drive shaft is longer than the CUDA Challenger. Like if you're gonna put it into a Challenger, it would be a 44.6 inches length. If we were to go into a CUDA, it would be 42.6 inches in length. After that, we go to the famous part, the 4-speed pistol grip. Yes, if you guys can take a good look, this is a shifter that's pressed in, not bolt on. The 1 year only, 1970, is a press on for the pistol grip. It came out in 1970, and this is a true blue 4-speed 833 cast iron gearbox. It's overhauled, it's got the shifter rods, it's got the transmission mount, and also the flywheel and the clutch. The flywheel is not a cast iron flywheel. It's a flywheel and a clutch with a 10.5-inch diameter. And it comes with all the bell and whistles. If you guys take a look here, it's got the boot, it's got the fork, it's got the spring, and of course it's got the backup light, the wiring and everything. So let me show you how the shifter works with a pistol grip. This is one of the most icon part of an e-body. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse, and it works all the time. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, reverse. And of course you got the backup light switch, the harness, all there. And then you got a shifter. It's rare, you guys. You know, look, it's a Preston shifter. This is unique. This is rare. For you guys that are going to Concours, I don't know, depending on what car, who wants to buy it or whatever. There's a lot of stuff on here that are very, very rare. And this here is being one of them. It is pressed on. And you know, when it's not bolted on, it's pressed in with a rubber insulation. When you drive that car, like my Challenger, it is the same setup. There's no vibrations coming from the shifter whatsoever. It is rubber insulated and there's no vibrations whatsoever at any RPM. Then, now let's go to the engine, the 528. This is the Icon V8 of America. Yes, this is a true blue drop-in. You know, I had it on our YouTube channel. We had a video on this. It's a hydraulic flat tappet cam made by Bullet, and it's a very smooth idle. Now, when was the last time you saw a Hemi with these tubes, DC tubes? A lot of them don't even have it. Sure, we don't have any purpose for them. This is for something you use in the winter. You know, you have a heat raiser valve that closes the exhaust, brings it up, warms up the intake to have the carbs to run on idle in the winter, and then has an outlet pipe. And the only thing missing on this engine, the only one item, is the heat raiser valve, which is right here, which we don't use. In other words, being a performance engine, we do not use a heat raiser valve. I put the heat tubes in there because it gives it that extra look. And we also added electronic ignition, not dual points. We have electronic ignition with a tan color distributor cap. I got factory fuel lines. I got factory Hemi carburetors, the fuel pump, vapor separator. And being an e-body, it's supposed to have a double groove alternator with the extra diameter pulley to fit the Hemi. And you know, it takes a lot of detail. For example, let's take this power steering pump. I started with just a pump. Then I had to get the brackets. Then I had to locate a cap. Then I had to go buy a power steering pulley for a Hemi only. Then I got the belt. Then I had to find the pressure hose. After that, I went through hell to find this fitting that fits the pressure hose to the steering box. You know, every little item is a rare piece to me. For example, let's take the solenoid on the carburetor right here. It's there, it works. You know, I used to see these on eBay for $600 US. And if you guys take a good look, everything works. We have the springs, we have the brackets, we even have the cable, throttle cable. It's all there. PCV valve, Chrysler Corporation wiring for the spark plugs, oil pressure switch, and of course, all the wiring plug and play to plug it into your firewall and turn it over. You've got also the fuel pump, the starter. The starter is in place. We have the battery cables. Just this battery cable I bought 4 years ago, which is insulated, cost me $269. Anyways, you guys, nothing's cheap when it comes to a Hemi. And of course, when you want to put a Hemi in your e-body, you need to change the cam member. And then you need the motor mounts. It's all right here. Check it out. Cam member, motor mounts, even has a skid plate. What else do you want? It's all there. Then you got the 7-blade fan with a clutch fan, all here. You know, you got the bracket, you got both belts, power steering belt, alternator belt. You don't have to look for them. And the block itself, they don't sell it no more at Chrysler Corporation. I bought this block brand new 6 years ago. I had it sitting around. Then I bought a brand new crank. I bought Scat 10/8 rods, H-beams. Then I bought forged diamond pistons. I built a compressor to 11.63 on Mopar Performance aluminum heads. This is what this has. And that's a factory dual plane intake manifold with 2 factory Carter Hemi carburetors. If you guys take a good look, it's got the factory original 70-71 valve covers, the breathers there, the exhaust manifolds, the fuel pump, the fuel line, the vapor separator, and also an iron harmonic balancer. Then if you want to connect your heater hoses, the fittings are here. Water temperature, the harness. Then I've got the original Chrysler ignition coil. There's so much, you just keep going. You know, even the motor oil is in there, so you don't have to change oil. You know, I wish I could get it back in the dyno and run it, but if you guys look on a past video that we've done, it's all there. We did it. Even the bolts are detailed. Every bolt has a certain, you know, it's not a concourse engine, it is a 528, but on the outside it looks exactly like a 426 Hemi. On the internal, it is a 528. It's a smooth idle engine, does not have a lumpy idle, I'm sorry about that. If you want to do that, just put a bigger cam, but it's a smooth running engine. I also built a cradle for it, and I want to tell you guys something else. There's a lot of rare stuff. Even the 4 bolts that you bolted onto your frame rails are right here. A lot of people were telling me they wanted to buy it just to put it on display in a museum. Why? Maybe put it in front of a couch, in front of a coffee table, sit down, have a beer, and just look at this and talk about it. I mean, this is a masterpiece, guys. It takes a lot of time and work to put this all together. I don't have a car for it. You know, I'd like to sell it. And this powertrain, I got the whole powertrain, as you see it, for sale for $89,000 US dollars. So the whole thing could be yours for the right guy who's got a car, or even a 71, 72 B body, K-frame fits in. The drive shaft will be a different length. But anyways, in many cases, if this is only for certain people, some guys maybe want to buy it to put it in a museum piece, some guys want to buy it and put it in a project, and for the right person, this is a bargain. If you guys don't believe me, you guys tell me. What do you think? Do the running around. Take a good look at every little item in this thing. And don't forget, just as many parts there is on the outside, there's just as many parts on the inside. So you guys do your homework and you tell me what you think it's worth. Sure, there's a lot of running around and it's a running engine. It's on video. And I'm gonna give you guys the paperwork in a few seconds. But I want you to take a look. I put my love and passion in this when I built it. I didn't build it, you know, then I thought I was gonna buy a car and put it in. But you know, I don't have the other car. So I'll give someone else a chance to buy it. Maybe he can build his dream car, put it in, You know, if I can help for the installation, if you guys want to send the car here, you want me to install it, maybe I could work out something with you guys, give me a call. You guys can reach me on email, indieauto@videotron.ca. Send me an email and we'll take it from there. But for $89,000 US, you gotta have this whole package. And there's more. And you guys, here's the air cleaner that comes with it. It's a genuine Chrysler air filter, the base plate, the lid, 528. It's not a 426, it's a 528. We also had custom-made decals. It's got the genuine air filter. And if your e-body is a automatic car, of course, you're gonna have to change the hump on the floor. But then again, you need those pedals. It's all here. Robert has restored a set for me. These are e-body clutch pedal, brake pedal for a 4-speed car. This is made for an e-body. It's completely packaged here. It's all there. And this is a rare piece, you guys. The safety neutral switch. Very rare. They don't reproduce it. They don't sell it. Very hard to find item. You know, if your car is an automatic, you want to convert to a 4-speed, a few dollars more, I can set you up with this. Also, this being a 23 spline transmission, which is good enough to get hold of horsepower, I also have this available. If you prefer, 18 spline e-body transmission. I also have an 18 spline, which is correct for a Hemi. It all depends to what agreement we come to. So you guys, if you have the car, the dream car of your life, and you got an e-body or a 71, 72 B-body, and you want to convert to a Hemi 4-speed with a Dana 60, and I've done e-body Danas on B-bodies. They work fine. They're only like a ½ inch longer on the rear, which you don't notice on a B-body, but it could be done. All I have to do is change the seat pads right here. I just bring them in ½ an inch on each side, and it's a bolt-in. But after all, everything works on this. It runs well. So if you guys are interested, you tell me. And let me show you now the paperwork. You know, a lot of people bring me engines here, quite a few. They bring me engines, they pay top dollar, and they have no documents, no paperwork, no files on anything. You want to see my documents? Come over here. I got the dyno sheet, the way it was tested last. I also have the build sheet, have the type of pistons, the flow bench, the type of connector rods, the brand new Chrysler Moped Performance block, 528, chromatic head gaskets, and of course, the bullet cam specifications, flat tapping. Yes, it's all here. And you know what? You're not just buying an engine. I've worked with Hemis since I was 16 years old. I've had Hemis all my life. I played with Danas. I build it because this is what I love. This is my passion. You know, some people just build an engine, just sell it right away. I've had this for a while, and you know what? It's just sitting here in my shop, taking up space, but I want somebody special to buy it and put it in his car. If I can help, just let me know. After all this with the cradle, putting it together, searching for a few years, all the parts, putting it together, putting a nice package, dyno testing it, and of course building and creating. What do you think it's worth, you guys? I'm asking 89,000 US dollars. What do you think it's worth? Take a good look. I match, I think, practically everything I have here. You guys tell me. You know, this is something very special. And this is not something you don't just see anybody have for sale. For example, people come to me, they tell me, Nick, there's a Hemi engine for sale on eBay. Really? It doesn't have all the details. You know, like get that, he bought a Hemi engine. He bought an engine. I don't know what he paid for it, but we tore it apart in the dining room. So anyways, that's another story. I'm just saying what I've got here, what I built. And this is what I built with love and passion. This is Hemi heaven. This is what I've been working with all my life. I just shown you guys a 426, 541, 572, and now a 528. I mean, all under one roof. They're all here, and this is what I stand for. So, no low ballers, and this is what I've got. So like I said earlier, guys, if you want to reach me, you got my numbers, indieauto@videotron.ca. Give me a call. We'll talk.
And if you can't afford a Hemi masterpiece like Nick's 528, or even a fixer-upper like Gaetan's in the dyno room, remember that subscribing to Nick's Garage will always be free, and we will always appreciate you for watching.
And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.